There is a document in the National Archives, a federal administrative filing typed on government letterhead, dated 1970, that lists a plant under the same schedule as heroin, not because of what it does to your nervous system, not because anyone overdosed, not because a clinical trial found harm. The document offers a classification. The classification ends a food supply, and the food supply it ends had been continuous on this continent for 4,000 years. That is the file. Welcome to the archive. Because once you see what was growing in American fields the decade before that document was typed, and what was growing in American supplement aisles the decade after, you will not be able to call what happened in between a coincidence. You are probably spending somewhere between $40 and $90 a month on protein. Maybe it is eggs. Maybe it is chicken breast from a supply chain you cannot trace. Maybe it is a powder in a plastic tub with a label that lists leucine, lysine, and methionine as selling points, the 9 essential amino acids your body cannot manufacture, the ones you have to eat, the ones that determine whether your muscle repairs, your immune system responds, and your nervous system holds. You are buying completeness. You are paying a premium for completeness. And the plant in that 1970 federal filing contains all 9. Not most. All 9. In a single seed. A seed smaller than a peppercorn. A seed that, had the filing never been typed, you could have grown in a window box. Instead, you are paying $4.80 per 100 grams for a processed supplement to deliver what this plant puts in the ground for free, with no cold chain, no processing facility, and no patent holder collecting the margin. That cost, across 10 years of monthly protein purchases, is not a grocery bill. It is the financial consequence of a scheduling decision made by people who were not thinking about your breakfast. Now follow the timeline, not a summary. The actual sequence, institution by institution, decision by decision. In 1619, the Virginia Colonial Assembly passed legislation requiring every farm to grow it. Not permitting, requiring. Hemp, Cannabis sativa L, was a food crop, a fiber crop, and a rope crop, and the colonial economy treated it as essential infrastructure. For the next 300 years, American farmers grew it without federal interference. The USDA's predecessor bodies recorded it as a primary agricultural product. George Washington grew it at Mount Vernon. Thomas Jefferson at Monticello. This is not mythology. These are plantation records. In 1937, the Marijuana Tax Act passed Congress. The lead witness in favor of the legislation was Harry Anslinger, the commissioner of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, a man whose department had been shrinking since Prohibition ended and who needed a new mandate. The American Medical Association opposed the bill. Dr. William Woodward, the AMA's legislative counsel, testified before the House Ways and Means Committee that the legislation was medically unjustified and that the Bureau of Narcotics had provided no scientific evidence to support it. He was dismissed. The bill passed. Overnight, like a crop that had been legally mandated 3 centuries earlier, required a federal tax stamp to grow, and the Treasury made the stamps nearly impossible to obtain. In 1942, 5 years after the ban, the USDA produced a film called Hemp for Victory and distributed it to American farmers. The film instructed them to plant hemp. The war effort needed rope, parachute webbing, and marine rigging. The government that had just made hemp functionally illegal spent wartime dollars telling farmers to grow it. When the war ended in 1945, the program was discontinued. The film was later denied to have ever existed by the USDA until 2 copies surfaced in the Library of Congress in 1989. In 1957, the last commercial hemp field in the United States was harvested in Wisconsin. In 1970, the Controlled Substances Act classified cannabis sativa, the species that includes both marijuana and industrial hemp, as Schedule 1, same category as heroin. No accepted medical use. High abuse potential. The classification did not distinguish between a hemp seed and a drug compound. It classified the plant. In 1998, Canada legalized industrial hemp cultivation. In 2004, the Ninth Circuit Court ruled that the DEA had exceeded its authority in attempting to ban hemp food products. The the DEA reversed its position. Hemp seeds re-entered American health food stores, imported largely from Canada because growing them domestically was still federally restricted. In 2018, the U.S. Farm Bill removed hemp from Schedule 1, 81 years after the Tax Act. 81 years is not a gap in the legislation. 81 years is a business model with an expiry date, and you are living on the other side of it. Now look at what those 81 years were protecting you from eating. Hemp seed contains 25 grams of protein per 100 grams of seed, confirmed by the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry in 2010. 25 grams. Eggs contain approximately 13 grams per 100 grams. The primary protein in hemp seed is edestin, a globular protein that constitutes approximately 65% of the seed's total protein content. Edestin is so structurally similar to human blood plasma globulin that researchers at the University of Connecticut used it as a serum protein substitute in early immunological studies. The body recognizes it. The bioavailability is documented at above 90% in peer-reviewed digestibility studies, higher than most plant proteins and comparable to animal sources. All 9 essential amino acids are present, not traces. Functional quantities of leucine, isoleucine, valine, lysine, methionine, phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, and histidine. The complete profile your body cannot synthesize. The profile you are currently buying from a supply chain that requires livestock, refrigeration, processing, and a distribution network. The omega-6 to omega-3 ratio in hemp seed oil is approximately 3:1. The World Health Organization identifies this ratio as optimal for cardiovascular health. Most Western diets run at ratios between 15:1 and 20:1. Hemp seed corrects the ratio without supplementation. 10 milligrams of iron per 100 grams, higher than beef on a dry weight comparison. Gamma-linolenic acid, a fatty acid with documented anti-inflammatory mechanisms, was studied in relation to metabolic function at the University of Seville in 2018, with findings published in the journal Nutrients. The mechanisms are documented. The clinical implications are documented. The plant that contains them was Schedule 1 for 81 years, or now follow the money. In 1938, 12 months after the Marijuana Tax Act passed, DuPont filed its patent for nylon, a synthetic fiber, a direct commercial competitor to hemp rope and hemp textile. DuPont's annual reports from 1937 and 1938, which are publicly archived, describe synthetic fiber as the company's primary growth engine and explicitly anticipate the displacement of natural fiber crops. The timing is documented. The financial logic is arithmetic. Harry Anslinger's congressional testimony in 1937 was partly funded by his department's relationship with the Treasury, and the Treasury's largest domestic industrial taxpayers at that time included synthetic chemical manufacturers. This is not inference. It is in the congressional record. The 1937 House hearings also included testimony from the cotton industry. Lobbying records from that session, reviewed in court documents filed during Hemp Industries Association versus the DEA, a case that ran from 2001 to 2004, show coordinated opposition to hemp cultivation from industries whose revenue depended on the continued unavailability of a crop that required no pesticides, no synthetic fertilizer, and no patent-protected seed variety to grow competitively. When the 2018 Farm Bill passed and hemp became legal again, the processing infrastructure, the decorticators, the oil extraction facilities, the licensed seed banks, was held almost entirely by Canadian and European operators who had been building it legally for 2 decades. American farmers re-entered a market they had been locked out of and found the supply chain already owned. The question worth carrying into your next grocery run is not who banned it. It is who was ready the moment it came back. Here is what you can do today. Our hemp hearts, hulled hemp seeds, are legal to purchase and consume in all 50 U.S. states under the 2018 Farm Bill. You can find them in most grocery stores, health food retailers, and online. Look for certified food-grade product. 3 tablespoons of hemp hearts, stirred into what you are already eating for breakfast, delivers a more complete amino acid profile than 2 eggs, and you can buy a pound of them for less than a single serving of most protein powders. Store them refrigerated after opening. Shelf life is 3 to 6 months. If you want higher bioavailability, purchase unhulled seeds and sprout them. Soak for 8 hours, rinse twice daily, and small sprouts appear within 2 days. Sprouting activates enzymes that increase nutrient absorption and reduces the phytic acid content that can block mineral uptake. Growing hemp is a different matter. As of 2026, cultivation requires a license through your state's Department of Agriculture under USDA oversight. Regulations vary significantly by state, and some states have not yet established licensing frameworks. Check your state's Department of Agriculture website for current cultivar approval lists and acreage thresholds before ordering seed. This is nutritional information drawn from published food science, and anyone managing a specific health condition, particularly those on anticoagulants, as hemp seed has documented mild blood-thinning properties, should discuss any significant dietary change with a qualified clinician before adjusting their intake. That is not a disclaimer. That is the information you need. The USDA document from 1970 did not erase what hemp is. It erased access to what hemp is. Those are different things. The plant did not change. Its protein content did not change. Its amino acid profile did not change. In the edestin in its seed did not stop being structurally similar to your blood plasma just because a filing reclassified the species. What changed was whether the person reading this could grow it, buy it, or even read a label that named it without a lawyer in the room. You now know the timeline. 1619 to 1937, 1942, and the wartime reversal the USDA later denied. 1970, and the scheduling that made no biological distinction between a seed and a drug compound. 2004, and the court ruling the DEA quietly absorbed. 2018, and the farm bill that arrived after the infrastructure had already been built by everyone else. That sequence did not happen to you. It happened before you were making your own grocery decisions, but you are making them now. And the person making informed decisions is harder to overcharge than the person who never saw the file. If someone in your life is spending real money every month trying to build a complete protein diet, from powder, from supplements, from a system that requires them to read ingredient labels like legal documents, share this, not for the algorithm. Because the timeline you just watched belongs to them too, and nobody sent it to their inbox. Subscribe if you want the next file. And because this archive does not run on advertising, it runs on the number of people who decided that documented history is worth keeping in circulation. And the next file is already pulled. It concerns a plant the U.S. Army included in field medic training manuals during both World Wars that the USDA listed as an approved edible species until 1972, the same year the war on drugs officially began, and that your local municipality is currently paying contractors to spray with herbicide. The name of that plant will not surprise you. What was done to it will.